The Sixers are going to get tested on the road.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hi, I'm Keith Pompey with my right-hand man, John Mitchell, and we are the co-hosts of Locked On 76ers podcast, the only daily podcast that you get that covers the Sixers. The best, I say. But anyway, listen, here's the deal. Mitch, the 76ers are about to go on the road. They have a 4-game road stand. They go out west. On Wednesday, they're going to be in Phoenix, which is today. And then on Friday, they play the Lakers at the Crypto.com. I was about to say Staples Center.
Yeah, right.
And then on Sunday, they play the Clippers there. And then guess what? Monday, the following Monday, they're going to be in Sacramento. So it's going to be a test for the Sixers. It's going to be a tough test for the Sixers. So we'll see what's going on, man. We'll see what's going on. But to me, Mitch, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that this is going to be a barometer for them, right? And no disrespect to the Miami Heat, but if we're going to be 100, the Miami Heat were banged up. I mean, It was basically they beat Bam Adebayo and a bunch of role players. There was no Tyler Hero. There was no Jimmy Butler. There was Duncan Robbins. You know, he's a guy who went out in the third quarter. And it was one point, and don't get me wrong, these brothers have shown that they could play in the NBA, but it was a point where they had a lot of dudes out there who used to be on two-way contracts in the league, a lot of them. And the Sixers blew a 17-point lead against them. So now you look at it, you got to go to Phoenix, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. Then you go to L.A., LeBron James and the boys. And then you got to stay in L.A. You got Paul George. You got James Harden, who's going to be motivated. You got Kawhi Leonard. Yo, man. And then Sack, you got the guys, the young boys that can play. So this is going to be
you're going to have people in the Philadelphia area hating you, bro.
You already do, some of them. But the ones who know basketball and really like basketball, they like me. I think what? I think why people hate me is because, and no offense, it's because look, I grew up in Philly. You grew up in Philly. I can't sugarcoat stuff. I got to keep it 100. And sometimes people get upset because they like, yo, man, you being negative. But I don't think I'm being negative. I'm just keeping it 100.
Yeah, you can't come on here and lie about what you're looking at, man. You're a journalist. You know, your job is to be a truth teller. You know, and I mean, let's be quite honest about it. They, I got used to covering when I was covering the Wizards. It was nothing but negativity, because to win 22, 23 games on a regular was the regular, and like you said, the team they beat last night was Bam it wasn't even Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, bro. It was Bam Adebayo and the Pips. I mean, I didn't know lots of them guys who were running around last night. I was like, man, who are these cats? And
I thought it was the Four Heartbeats.
With Leon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And
is there a heart in the house tonight? Stand up. Stand up.
we trying to bring some levity here, but the reality of it is, man, they could be heading for boat race city, to be quite honest. With the teams that they have in front of them, uh, 3 time zones away, all on the road. I don't think it's going to be pretty. Um, and we were talking about the Miami game, and in the Miami game, because of the schedule, because where they stand in the play-in, it's just absolute must that they got that game, and they did. Congratulations to them. But they sure did. If I had any hair, I would have been pulling it out, man, because like you said, they had a 17-point lead, and in that fourth quarter, man, things got really hairy. So I mean, at the end of the day, we spectate and we see what they do, and we want our 10-9-8-76ers to ball, but it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be tough. They could, the optimism of talking about Joel returning the first or second week of April, and they've only got 14 games or so left on the regular season. What kind of shape will he be in when he returns? I had somebody today postulate to me that maybe he should just sit out, and I'm like, nah. If he's healthy, we gotta bring him back, man. I mean, if he's healthy and can play, you gotta bring him back. But the road, I mean, the road is got a lot of potholes, and they're not just Philly potholes. They're in Los Angeles, they're in Phoenix, they're in warm weather towns that didn't experience any snow, and they're going to hit them, and the axle's going to be tested on the 76ers. So I know I'm throwing a lot of cliches out here, but this is their test. This is it. Where are you going to finish up in the play-in? And who knows? They may go out there. They may go out there and steal one. But that might require a third 50-point game from Tyrese Maxey this season. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. I'm not optimistic. I'm being brutally honest, and not even brutally honest. I'm just looking at who they've been for the past, the past month and a half without Joel. It's going to be tough, and it doesn't get much easier when they get back here.
Yeah, I mean the big thing is it's kind of like they did defeat the Phoenix Suns early on, but that was earlier in the season. That was when it was kind of that was around that time where they went out and they won 8 games in a row. That was one of their victories. It was an early victory, but the thing about that one was it was a different roster. Joel was beginning to be in that beast mode. Tyrese Maxey played well. Tobias played well. Oubre played well. But of the big three, there was only one guy from Phoenix.
Right.
And it was Kevin Durant, and he had 31 points.
Yeah.
Now you look at the Lakers, and AD is banged up and all that other stuff. But but the thing is, and you can say, like, if there's a game that they may be able to steal, it could be against the Lakers, right? But I just don't know if they have that firepower against the Clippers. I just don't without Joel Embiid. Now, the thing is, people don't realize Joel Embiid goes out in LA and he normally puts on the show. He just normally does. There's times when he's not out there playing. But I don't know. But my thing is for the Sixers, as much as you look at these teams' records, their record is similar to the Sixers, but all these teams are all battling for playoff spots. People don't want to be in the playing game. So while the Sixers have a sense of urgency, so do they. So that's going to be the tough part for the 76ers. And let's face it, all I know is, they were going up against Bam and the 5 Heartbeats, and they blew a 17-point lead. Yeah. And I know that he came back and Kyle made huge shots. I know that Kelly Oubre made a huge shots. I know that Buddy Hield gave them what essentially was the lead for good. But you know what I mean? In the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, they played a depleted team and blew a lead. So we got to see what they can do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it always is, in spite of the mounting losses that they've experienced. I mean, they haven't just rolled over. Well, they did roll over a few games. Now that I think about it, but they're at the nexus now. They can't roll over. They have to come out and they got to play the terms. They got to play the best basketball of the season right now. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, and I would love to see them, despite the negative tone. I would love to see the 76ers go out there and put in some work, man. If they could come back 500 off this road trip, which I don't anticipate that they will, but it would be fantastic. But listen, passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. As you know, Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel, Locked On Sports Today. Baseball fans, mark your calendars for March 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the best Major League Baseball season preview coming exclusively to Locked On Sports Today. On March 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, be the first to get local insight from the MLB local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network. Find it on March 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Locked On Sports Today 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Do it on March 20th.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for them, Mitch. It really is. It's going to be tough for them. But here's the thing. Tyrese Maxey is coming off of 3 consecutive 30-point games.
He's been hooping.
Yeah, he's been balling. Now,
almost had that triple dub last night.
Yeah, he almost did.
Yeah.
My only thing is, though, it's something that's starting to happen that I'm starting to see against these really well-coached teams is where they start blitzing them in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where they let them roam free for 3 quarters. Then the fourth quarter, they blitz them. The stat was crazy yesterday was, he only scored 1 point in the second quarter, and he only scored 1 point in the fourth quarter. Now, he did have some assists, but it just seems like that game, the Milwaukee game, and the other ones, it just seems like teams are taking him out of his game in the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
They're turning him in. They're just making sure he gets rid of the ball. Now, again, that's what the Sixers want him to do, get rid of the ball quickly when they blitz. But at the same time, I would like to see him maybe crash in the boards or doing a beeline, and then they give him the ball, at least so if he gets fouled while going up, he could try to attempt some foul shots. But to me, again, 30 points are great. They're great. But, you can't have just 1 point in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. It's especially in today's league, 30 points, like you said, 30 points is great, and I think he's done it now 3 times in a row. But you have to keep giving when your team is at a deficit the way the 76ers are. When you're the all-star, when Tobias is sitting on the bench, on the men, and obviously, you haven't seen Covington in 2024, DeAnthony Melton. I mean, it's just so many holes in the roster. And, we love Tyrese and we love the way he has ascended. And, I think he's probably, I almost think he's got to get the most improved player award if he just plays the way he has been playing for the rest of the season or even a cut below. But if he plays a cut below right through here, it's going to be trouble. It's going to be trouble for them. So, he hopefully the light goes on in Phoenix. And Phoenix is getting. They'll have a good complement of players. It won't be like the last time they ran into them, and they're playing for something. But by the same token, while he has to step it up, some of the other guys have to. Buddy Hield has been, he's been taking nights off and moments off, and he's 1 minute he's here, 1 minute he's not making a contribution. He's playing for money, man. He needs to step up. But you're right, though. Teams will blitz Tyrese, and it makes absolute sense because when you look at the rest of the guys around there, Lowry's starting to play better. He's starting to settle guys down out there. And he's taking more crucial shots. He's not afraid to take big shots in big moments, and that's that championship pedigree that he has. But when the guys that are doing these things are 6'4" and below for you, that's never a good thing.
Yeah, it's crazy because one of them's 6 foot and the other one's 6'2".
Is Tyrese just 6'2"?
Yeah, he's just 6'2".
Yeah, man. So I was trying to give him those extra 2 inches, man, but I guess I can't do it to him. So it's all hands on deck, but he needs to, and he's showing that he is capable. I think he has to stay in attack mode at all times, man. Yeah. As long as he plays within the system, because Nick Nurse does have the system, and it's looking more like he likes to have Kyle Lowry out there with him. But man, that gives them that they become a Lilliputian backcourt when they do that. So,
yeah, I agree. They do. They become a small backcourt. They are a small one, but you're right that Kyle did step up. The thing is, the big key for Kyle is being this age is, can he do it? Multiple times a night. Yeah. I mean, a week, and then also. They played one back-to-back thus far, and this is a big road trip since he's been here. They played one back-to-back, and he didn't play in the second game. So This is a big road trip with the Clippers, Sacramento. So the question is, will he be able to play in both games? And if not, which one if you're the Clippers, if you're the Sixers, which one do you want him to play in?
Because he's gonna be chasing it in either one of those games. He's gonna be chasing.
Yep, he's gonna be chasing big time. In either one, he's gonna be chasing big time. So that's the thing that they have to look out for. And again, this is a barometer trip. We'll learn a lot about the Sixers. We'll learn. Again, they did play without Joel. We noticed that beforehand. They had him without for a while, but this is gonna be the first time that they play in quote unquote 4 like hostile type games on the road against playoff caliber. Before it was like, okay, they play a couple, maybe 2 max, and then they come back. But this is going to be 4 of them. 4 of them.
Right. Yeah. We keep hammering that nail on the head. It's a very crucial stretch for them. You're going against, and let's be quite honest, man. They're facing world champions on this trip. Those guys have pride. You can say what you want to. LeBron may be our age, but he's still LeBron. He's still stepping that hyperbaric chamber and stepping out as Superman and putting up incredible numbers. He wants to beat the 76ers. Of course, James Harden's going to want to do a number on them. Kawhi Leonard, I guess I can pull James Harden out of that championship line because he doesn't qualify. But yeah, they're these teams are going to be going for the 76ers jugular. And there's no they get that back-to-back on the second half of that trip. And you don't want to come home to the Clippers again, because they could get, to use Keith Pompey's trademark word, they very well could get boat raced. They could get boat raced in a marina, out in LA. So we'll see. But listen, right now, Are you the kind of driver that likes to push things a little further? Ever wonder what adventure could be around the next corner? Our friends at Nissan have a lineup of SUVs with the capabilities to take your adventure to the next level. Let's look at the 2024 Nissan Rogue. The Rogue is perfect for city drives and great escapes. Class exclusive Google built-in is your always updating assistant to call on for almost anything. Gone are the days of connecting your phone. Google Assistant, Google Maps, and Google Play Store are built right into the 12.3-inch high-definition touchscreen infotainment system. The 2024 Rogue is the perfect midsize crossover for your next adventure. Let's step it up to Nissan's big boy, the 2024 Nissan Armada. The Armada will change what you expect from a full-size SUV. Picture a rugged 4x4 that can seat up to 8 in first-class luxury and style. Tow bigger and explore further in the 2024 Armada. Take the Nissan Rogue, Nissan Armada, or also that Nissan Pathfinder, which I didn't talk about, and go find your next big adventure. Shop nissanusa.com.
Do it today, folks. Definitely do it today. You know, we talked about Tyrese Maxey. Talked a little bit about Kyle. But a guy who's really impressed me as of late, and he hasn't always been, people saying he's been efficient. He hasn't always been super efficient, but he's impressed me with his ability to attack and do all those other things. Kelly Oubre, you know, on what was it? On Monday, he was extremely good on both sides of the ball. I mean, he had 5 blocks. He had 22 points. He had a phenomenal game. He's been giving them a lot, especially in the 2 games that Tobias Harris missed.
Yeah. I mean, I did a double take when I looked at the box score and I saw those 5 blocks because I checked the previous games and he had a bunch of zeros sitting on top of that going back, man. A few single block shots. So he was out there, doing his best Akeem Olajuwon impersonation. Getting people, taking people's heads off. And what I like about him, man, is he's the one sister who will come down and he will bang on somebody. He's that one cat where when the crowd needs somebody to lift him up, he will come down and take it to the rim. Now he's not going to take it to the rim like the kid from Minnesota did, Anthony Edwards, the other day. And
but he threw the ball in too. You know that, though, right?
Yeah, he did, but you know what though? I'm not taking any style points off of that right there. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but you know what the real dunk was though? A lot of people ain't talking about it. But when my man from the Lakers got dunked on, that was nasty. Did you see that one?
No, who got him?
What's the dude? Some dude from the dude from the Hawks. Oh my gosh, it was nasty. Look, let's see if you can see it.
Oh, that's like some Vince Carter in the Olympics type stuff right there.
That's like something you can't do. That's something you can't do down, boy. Like that's something you don't want. That's something you don't want your kids to see. Like,
no,
Daddy, why that man do you like that?
It's like, son, that's your head over there. Go get it.
Yo, but can you imagine? Like, I mean, could you imagine? Like, and it knocked him down too.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
And they called a foul call.
I'm gonna have to go rewind that and take a peek. I didn't see that one.
That was the first play of the game. Let's see here. The first play of the game, man. Look,
we got Reeves, huh?
Yeah.
Austin Reeves.
Yeah, got Austin. Ooh. First play of the game.
Yeah, that's a poster. I would insist that that you bring that poster back, not just as a screensaver, but that's a poster.
That's a fair one.
That's a fair one, right. That's definitely a fair one. But I like what I'm seeing on Kelly Oubre again, man. he's been locked in. He's been locked on lately. Um, and he plays with some spirit, man. He pulls those little skinny arms out and does his little most muscular pose. You know, so it's safe to say that he's fully recovered now. From that misfortunate incident he had earlier in the season, and he's been fun to watch, man. Guys like him, I enjoy, man. The guy I really enjoy watching with the 76ers, right, has been all season, has been Paul Reed, man.
Yeah, he's been
I
balling.
love watching Paul Reed play because, sometimes we talk about player development and how non-existent it is in the NBA, but the kid he's developing, man. He's stepping out, taking the three now. And your boy Mo Bamba has played better, but I'm rambling a little bit, getting away from Kelly. But yeah, Kelly Oubre's been fun to watch, man. And he's he's been aggressive. He and the 5 blocks again. The 5 blocks, I was like, wow. I'm not used to that out of him.
Nah, not from him. I mean, he's known as an offensive player. But the funny part is when you talk to him, he lets you know, like when he first came in the league, he knew he had to play on the defensive end, and he tells you that's all about effort because he had to play that way because he wasn't the man. You know what I mean? So you had to basically get in where you fit in, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And he's been playing really well. He really has. I can't argue on that, but. It's going to be a tough one. We'll learn a lot about the Sixers. The thing is, Mitch, I don't know about you, but those 10 o'clock games, those 10 o'clock games, it's like, it's crazy. I mean, I know people stand up for it, the diehards. Other ones like, hey, man, we'll just see the highlights in the morning.
Yeah.
They'll do that. They'll do it that way, but it should be exciting.
It's going to be a good trip. It's going to be an interesting trip. I don't know how fruitful it will be, but this is it though. This is that moment. The NCAA started today, and unfortunately, my beloved Howard Bison took an L. Yeah. But
but you knew that was going to happen, right?
I thought it might be Wagner, man. I was like, they could possibly be Wagner, and you know what? If they didn't sleepwalk through that first half, they just may have gotten that game.
Yeah, they didn't like being in Dayton. That's what it was.
Yeah, to go from DC to Dayton is like, it's the penthouse to the outhouse, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, hey man, this team has been hanging in there. They've been playing tough without Joel Embiid, and now they're asking, you think we'll see Tobias on this road trip, Key?
I do. I definitely do. Like, he may miss this game, tonight's game, but after that, I expect him to be playing. I really do.
Yeah, my nickname for him is questionable. He's questionable, and sometimes even when he's out there, he's still questionable. But this time around, I mean, this is it, man. Because he's playing for money too. Quiet as kept. So
they all are.
Yeah, they are. The whole squad is playing for money.
Yeah, we got to talk about that once because I think that creates a poor team camaraderie when it comes down to it.
Yeah, gotta get mine.
I gotta get mine. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But look, y'all, we want to thank y'all for listening. We really do. We want y'all to know that you can get this podcast every day. We thank you for making us your first listen. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. But when you do subscribe to this thing, right, when you do what you do is when you get there, just click on that Liberty Bell and it makes you become a new subscriber. You get notifications whenever we post podcasts. So from John and Keith, I want to say thank you and have a blessed day.
Enjoy your day, folks.